lights. No wings on me, but I'm so fly. Keep a Bible on me, no lie. I only serve the Most High. Got drip on me, I ain't talking about ice. No wings on me, but I'm so fly. Keep a Bible on me, no lie. I only praise the Most High. Got what that's what while drip on me. Drip on, drip on, drip on me. Holy Spirit, drip on me. Drip on, drip on, drip on me. Everlasting drip on me. Drip on, drip on, drip on me. How you keep on blessing me, so I got all this drip for free. Power, power. It ain't for the cowards. We're dribbling after a higher. The truth, I'm just a liar.
What's up, family? What's good? What's up with y'all? Another lesson we're about to get over. Y'all see that? Right there, look. That's what we're diving into today. Y'all see that? Hold on. There you go. We're eating today. Y'all see that? Y'all can take a screenshot of that if you want. We're gonna be eating today. You're gonna need these books. You need your Bible. Always your Bible. Always. You're gonna need the Book of Mormon. You're gonna need that book. You're gonna need your Melchizedek book. Get this book out. You're gonna need this book too. You're gonna need that book out. And also, you're gonna need your Apocrypha out. So get this. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7, 8. So yeah, we're gonna be going to 8 books in this lesson. All right. We're gonna be going into 8 books on this lesson. So that's what we're gonna be doing today. So get all them books out. All right. So the books that you're gonna need your Holy Bible. You're gonna need the Book of Mormon. You're gonna need the Book Remembrance of Melchizedek. You're gonna need your Apocrypha. You're gonna need a sealed portion. You're gonna need to get your Book of Enoch. You're also gonna need to get the Book of Jasher out as well. We're gonna be going into these books. All right. This is gonna be a very, very beautiful lesson. The Most High has been working on me in this lesson. As y'all can see, we already gonna eat a lot today. Like, we're gonna eat a lot. All right. And so, before I start, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High God. Ahaya Asha Ahaya. In the name of Yeshaya and the Ruach Kodash, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to them first and foremost. And I want to give a special thanks to the audience, to my brothers, to my sisters. I want to give a shout out to the 23rd community out there. You know, and every Israelite or Gentile that's out there that's putting in work. Whatever the Most High is using you to do, go ahead and bring it out. All right? Whatever the Most High is using you on with your talents and with your gifts, bring it out to the nation. Because we need it. All right? We're going to need it. All right, so let's get into it real quick. We got a lot to eat. All right? So we're going to go into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're going to go into 6 points. All right, 6 bulletins in which we're going to go on to this lesson. It's called the endless pit, or to say the endless capitalism. Yes, capitalism is a pit that we as a people today is hard to get out of. All right. And so with this lesson, I pray that the Most High could use this lesson, to weaken Satan's kingdom and cause an economic collapse. All right. You already know I'm from the tribe of Issachar, and Issachar is a servant to tribute. And so that's what, I'm going to work on, because, hey, we need a rest. All right. We need to rest. Just like the rest of y'all, we need to rest. So let's get into it real quick. Let's go to Isaiah. The book of Isaiah, chapter 28. Isaiah chapter 28, verses 9 and 10. Whom shall you teach knowledge? And whom shall you make to understand doctrine? Them that are weaned from the milk and drawn from the breast. For precept must be upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line, here a little and there a little. All right, so we want to get that out of the way. Let's go to the book of Psalms. Let's go to Psalms 119. Psalms 119. And we're going to hit up verses 104. Through thy precepts, I get understanding. What? Through thy precepts, I get understanding. Therefore, I hate every false way. Let's jump up to 128. Therefore, I esteem all thy precepts concerning all things to be right, and I hate every false way. So with these precepts, we're going to go into, right? We're going to go into, these 8 books so that we can gain a little bit of knowledge and understanding on how capitalism has ruined the lives of many, has put people into suicides, has created a downfall of the nation of Israel. And so this is what we're going to go into. And those bulletins that we're going to go into the foundation, of course, which is the Most High's word. We're going to build upon that foundation, right? We're going to build upon that foundation. We're going to give you the history of where it originally came from. Then we're going to go into how it applies today. Then we're going to go into how the rich use it for their wickedness. We already know Satan going to twist the Most High's words and say, hey, everything is evil, is good, and everything that's good. He's going to twist up the words. He's going to flip them around. But the Most High says everything that's evil, you already know the story, right? And then the other one that we're going to hit up as well is blessed are the poor. Blessed are the poor. All right. All right. So the next one we're going to go into is we're going to go into 2 Nephi. 2 Nephi chapter 28. 2 Nephi chapter 28. And we're going to go into verse 30. For behold, thus said the Lord God, I will give unto the children of men, line upon line, precept upon precept, here a little and there a little. And blessed are those who hearken unto my precepts and lend ear unto my counsel. For they shall learn wisdom. What? They shall learn wisdom. What? They shall learn wisdom. For unto him that receiveth. What? For unto him or her that receiveth, I will give more. And from them thou shalt say, we have enough. Oh, we have enough Bible. Oh, we have enough second stick. Oh, we have enough self-portion. And that's it. Or, we should say, oh, we have enough Bible. We don't need no more. Or those that should say, oh, we have enough of the second stick. We don't need no more. Oh, we have enough of the Apocrypha. We don't need no more. From them shall be taken away even that which they have. Cursed is he that putteth his trust in man, or maketh the flesh his arm, or shall hearken unto the precepts of men. save their precepts shall be given by the power of the Holy Ghost. All right. So let's go into Doctrines and Covenants 98. 98, Doctrines and Covenants 98 and 12. And it says, for he will give unto the faithful line upon line, precept upon precept, and I will try you and prove you herewith. All right. So he will give unto the faithful. The only way you're going to understand the Most High's mysteries when everything is going around you is through you being faithful, and then you're going to get the precepts. All right. Let's go into Enoch Chapter 103. Enoch Chapter 103. We're going to go into Enoch Chapter 103, and we're going to look at verse 10 and 11. And it reads, Enoch Chapter 103. Enoch Chapter 103, verses 10 and 11. Another mystery also I point out to the righteous, and the wise shall be giving books of joy, of integrity, and of great wisdom. To them shall books be given, in which they shall believe. So in order for you to get these books, you have to believe in them. You have to test the Spirit. And in which they shall rejoice, and all the righteous shall be rewarded. From them these shall acquire the knowledge of every upright path. All right. So let's go back to your Bible. So we just built, that was your foundation. Now we're going to go to Mark chapter 12. Mark chapter 12. Mark chapter 12, we're going to look at verses 13. Mark chapter 12, verses 13 through 17. And it reads, Mark chapter 12, verses 13 through 17. And they said unto him, certain of the Pharisees and the Herodians, to catch him in his words. And when they were come, they said unto him, Master, we know that thou art true, and carest for no man, for thou regardest not the persons of men, but teachest the way of God in truth. It is lawful to give tribute to Caesar or not. Shall we give or shall we not give? So the disciples were asking Jesus Christ, should we give to Caesar or should we not give to Caesar? All right, but it says right here, but he said, but he knowing their hypocrisy, he said unto him, why tempt ye me? Bring me a penny that I might see. And they brought it, and he said unto them, who is the image and the prescription? Who is this image and subscription? And they said unto him, Caesar. So they handed him a quarter. They're like, who is this? And that's what they said. Verse 17. And Jesus answered, said unto them, render to Caesar the things that are Caesar's, and to God the things that are God's. And they marveled at him. All right. So it says, render to Caesar the things that are Caesar's, and to God the things that are God. So you're gonna have two weight scales over here, right? So you're gonna have Caesar over here, you're gonna have the Most High over here, right? So with us having the knowledge and the wisdom, we're gonna understand, we're gonna go and we're gonna search the things of what Caesar has been planning this whole time. So we're gonna go to the history of what he's been talking about. All right. So let's go to Proverbs 22 and 16. Proverbs 22 and 16. Proverbs 22 and 16. Proverbs 22:16. He that oppresseth the poor and Slakia, let me rephrase that. He that oppresseth the poor to increase his riches, and he that giveth unto the rich shall surely come to want. He that oppresseth the poor to increase his riches, and he giveth to the rich shall surely come to want. So we already know with the foundations of capitalism, there's always one person behind the curtain. Caesar was that person. He was the man behind the curtain. As you have today, you have people behind the curtain calling the shots. They're not going to tell you what's going on. They're just going to lay out a foundation. They're going to direct this person. They're going to direct that person. They're going to have that person go over here sell this. They're going to have that person go over and buy that. They're going to go over here buy stocks over here. They're going to go do this. They're going to go do that. See, this is the thing, that capitalism, socialism, and all that other ism is just garbage. Because a lot of people, they don't get nowhere. They think, see, this is what happens today, okay? This is what they show you. Satan has got it twisted. So people look at the rich, right? And they're like, oh, God's blessing that person because he has $1 billion. God's not blessing that person over here because that person's homeless. But that's how Satan is running things today. That's how you can distinguish between the Most High's blessings and Satan's blessings. All right? So let's keep going. Let's go to Ecclesiastes chapter 7, verse 7. Surely oppression maketh a wise man mad, and a gift destroyeth the heart. Surely oppression maketh a wise man mad, and a gift destroyeth the heart. So we already know, the majority of us, we already know that the rich are basically living a dream right now. You know, like these football players, these basketball players, these singers, these rappers, you know, these 600 and some billionaires living over here in the Americas. We already know they're living their life right now because they signed the dotted line. They signed the dotted line. And our people over here like, damn, man, why do I have to keep getting the shit in the stick? Why is my life a living hell right now? Why am I at the bottom? Why am I at the bottom? And they over here at the top living a dream. That's because you need to search the scriptures. You need to search the scriptures and find out what's the reason why you're in your situation today. See, the rich, they won't look into this stuff. They won't. But you as a poor, like myself, we gotta dive into the scripture. We gotta understand why we're in this situation. We gotta learn history. We gotta learn archaeology. We gotta learn all these things, right? We have to learn. We have to study to show yourself approved. We have to go through this mess. We have to find out why our forefathers were doing the things that they were doing for us to get the belt by the Most High, and that belt was the Gentile nations. And the Gentile nations, they gave us the belt. The Most High said, stop. The Gentiles are like, nah, we're going to keep raping and robbing the resources that we need. The Most High said, okay, so let me raise up 144,000. Let me give them my law, statutes, and commandments. Let me send the Holy Spirit to them to give them remembrance of who they are. So that's what's going on right now. They're repenting, and they're getting water baptized. They're seeking and they're studying the scriptures. They're seeking and studying the books they're seeking and gaining the knowledge what leads to power. Then I'm going to teach them how to live righteously. And then they're going to go and raise up the tribes of Israel and also be a light into the Gentiles. And also, when we're being a light to the Gentiles, Israel, is that the Gentiles need to have faith, which they have. And that faith is going to bring the Messiah back. We can't do too much. Like we can have the law, statutes, and commandments, just as it says in Psalms 142, verses 19 and 20. Right? The law, statutes, and commandments were given to Israel. They were not given to the heathens. They were not given to the Gentiles. So that's why things is all corrupt today. But also, we have to go out there and we have to teach them. We got to teach them how to be righteous. We got to go out there and teach them to be holy. We got to go out there and teach them what love is. We got to go out there and teach them what respect is. We got to go out there and teach them, hey, you can't eat that. You can't eat this. But don't be a big bully and say, oh, stop that. Stop that. You better stop that or it's going to hurt you. You have to go up there and tell them, hey, brother, sister, you doing that, it's not good. Most out, I'm trying to have compassion upon you. I'm trying to have mercy. My arm is extended to you like the Most High is extending his arm to us with grace. All right. So let's keep going. Let's keep going. Let's keep writing it. Genesis 49. Genesis 49. Genesis 49, 14 and 15. This is a curse that happened to one of the 12 tribes of Israel. You see it everywhere. Issachar is a strong ass couching down between two burdens. And he saw that rest was good. Why did he see that rest was good? Because he's working his ass off. Right? He's working his ass off. And he saw that the rest was good, and the land, it was pleasant, and bowed his shoulder to bear, and became a servant unto tribute. He's working his butt off. He's not getting no rest. Let me tell you something right now, Israel. If Issachar, if they have built everything that they have done these past years of all the stuff that we have done by building the Gentiles' kingdoms, our kingdom will look pimp tight right now. Should we be building y'all mansions right now, Israel? We already be in our kingdom if we are doing all this. Y'all could have relied on the brothers building these houses up on top of your roofs, hitting that sheetrock in, hitting that them shingles in, building them houses, being carpenters, also being a tekton. It's another word of a carpenter. Tekton, T-E-K-O-N, T-E-K-T-O-N. My bad. All right, let's keep going. Now we're going to go into the history. We're going to go into the history. Let's go to the book of Jasher. The book of Jasher, chapter 65. And we're going to look at verse 21. The book of Jasher, chapter 65. And we're going to look at verse 21. And it reads. Let me see. Hold on 1 second. All right, yep. Book of Jasher, chapter 65, verse 21. And all the servants of Pharaoh and his princes came at first with this deceit to build with all Israel as daily hired laborers, and they gave to Israel their daily hire at the beginning. And the servants of Pharaoh, verse 22, and the servants of Pharaoh built with all Israel and were employed in that work with Israel for a month. So the Egyptians and the Hebrews were working together for about a month, right? They were working together as a team. And this is what's going on now. And at the end of the month, all the servants of Pharaoh began to withdraw secretly from the people of Israel daily. So basically, Pharaoh told, all the Egyptians, hey, work with Israel for about a month. And hey, come here, when you're done, come here real quick. Hey, stop work with them. I want you to come, I want you to rest with me. Let them do it. Let them build our kingdom. Let them do everything for us. So what I want you to do in the meantime, I'm going to call you, and then you relay the message, and you go tell the other Egyptian, and, we're going to start pulling our people back one by one daily. So that's what Pharaoh was telling the rest of the Egyptians. He was telling them, hey, come on, let's go. We'll be with Israel for about a month. So let's keep reading. We're in the book of Joshua, 65, verse 23. At the end of the month, all the servants of Pharaoh began to withdraw secretly from the people of Israel daily. And Israel went on with the work at that time, but they then received their daily hire, because some of the men of Egypt were yet carrying on the work with Israel at the time. Therefore the Egyptians gave Israel their hire in those days, in order that the Egyptians, their fellow workmen, might also take the pay for their labor. What? That the Egyptians, their fellow workmen, might also take the pay for their labor. Whose labor? Israel's labor. Damn, that's cold. That is cold. So it's like, let me apply it today's terms, right? If there was a person out here, there's a Gentile over here, there was a Hebrew Israelite over here, they were working together and they were busting their asses off. Just as you see it today, you can see it today on construction sites, right? You can see it on construction sites today. You have a Gentile dude who was just standing there being idle, and you have a bunch of Mexicans, working their butts off. Y'all see that. But yet, the Gentile is not doing that much labor. But yet, he getting paid twice as much to stand there and watch the Mexicans. He getting paid twice as much to, direct orders. Y'all see what I'm talking about? This is nothing new under the sun. The same thing that they're doing today is the same thing they did back in the day. Same thing. And it says, we're in Joshua 65 and 24. And Israel went on with the work at the time, but they then received their daily hire, because some of the men of Egypt were yet carrying on the work with Israel at the time. Therefore the Egyptians gave Israel their hire in those days, in order that they, the Egyptians, their fellow workmen, might also take the pay for their labor. At the end of the year, and 4 months, all the Egyptians had withdrawn from the children of Israel, so that the children of Israel were left alone, engaged in the work. And after all the Egyptians had withdrawn from the children of Israel, they returned and became oppressors and officers over them. And some of them stood over the children of Israel as taskmasters, to receive from them all that they gave them for the pay of their labor. And the Egyptians did this in the manner to the children of Israel day by day, in order to afflict in their work. And all the children of Israel were alone, engaged in the labor, The Egyptians refrained from giving any pay to the children of Israel from that time forward. Man, they cut back, just like they're doing today. Verse 29. And when some of the men of Israel refused to work on account of the wages not being given to them, then the extractors and the servants of the Pharaoh pressed them and smote them with heavy blows and made them return by force. So some of our brothers and sisters, they like, hey, let's take a break real quick, man. But now the Egyptians came back and like, get your ass back to work. That's what's going on. That was going on right there. Y'all see that? It's the same thing that's going on today. You could try to do that, but you always got someone over here trying to snitch on you, right? Because, you're over here working your butt off, and that person over here doing half-ass work. And that half-ass person work over here snitching on you because you're doing your job the best of your knowledge, right? But let's keep reading. And it says, Pharaoh pressed them and smote them with the heavy blows and made them return by force to labor with their brethren. Thus did all the Egyptians unto the children of Israel all the days. And all the children of Israel were greatly afraid of the Egyptians. In this matter, that all the children of Israel returned and worked alone without pay. What? All Israel returned and worked alone without pay. Verse 31, and the children of Israel built Philthim and Ramses, and all the children of Israel did the work, some making bricks and some building. And the children of Israel built and fortified all the land of Egypt and its walls. What? Y'all see that? And all the children of Israel did the work, some making bricks and some building. And the children of Israel built and fortified all the land of Egypt and its walls. And the children of Israel were engaged in work for many years, until the time came when the Lord remembered them and brought them out of Egypt. With who? Because of Moses. But the children of Levi were not employed. What? But the children of Levi were not employed in the work with their brethren of Israel from beginning until the day of their going forth from Egypt. For the children of Levi knew that the Egyptians had spoken all these words with deceit to the Israelites. Therefore the children of Levi refrained from approaching to the work with their brethren. And the Egyptians did not direct their attention to make the children of Levi work after, since they have not been with their brethren at the beginning. Therefore the Egyptians let them alone. So, the Levites, they saw the brothers and sisters, they saw us busting our butts off, getting whooped. They were talking to each other, but the Egyptians paid no attention to the Levites because they weren't with us at the beginning. And it says, and all the hands of men of Egypt were directed with continuing severity against the children of Israel in that work. And the Egyptians made the children of Israel work with rigor. And the Egyptians embittered the lives of the children of Israel with hard work in mortar and bricks, and also in the manner of work in the field. And the children of Israel called Moloch the king of Egypt, Merah king of Egypt, because in the days of the Egyptians have embittered their lives with all the manner of work. And all the work wherein the Egyptians made the children of Israel labor, they exact with rigor in order to afflict the children of Israel. But more they afflicted them, the more they increased. What? So the more that the children of Israel got our butts whooped, the more the children of Israel increased. Just like the Most High tells you in the book of Hosea, my people are like the sands of the sea. My people are like the number of the stars. All right? And it says right here, but the more they afflicted them, the more they increased and grew, and the Egyptians were grieved because of the children of Israel. Why? That's how we got our numbers back. That's how we got our numbers back. Let's go to Jasher 79. Book of Jasher, chapter 79. 79, we're going to read verses 53 to 57. The book of Jasher, chapter 79, verses 53 to 57, and it reads, And Moses and Aaron went from the king's presence, and they saw the children of Israel in an evil condition, for the taskmasters had made their labor exceedingly heavy. And Moses returned to the Lord and said, Why hast thou ill-treated thy people? For since I came to speak to Pharaoh, what didst thou send me? For he has exceedingly ill used the children of Israel. And the Lord said unto Moses, Behold, thou wilt see that without stretch the hand in the heavy plagues. Pharaoh will send the children of Israel from his land. Ooh, what? What? Jasher chapter 79, verses 55 again. And the Lord said unto Moses, Behold, thou wilt see that with the outstretched hand and heavy plagues, Pharaoh will send the children of Israel from his land. That's how the children of Israel are going to be saved today. With an outstretched hand of the Most High and with heavy plagues. What heavy plagues are you seeing today? COVID-19, the different variants. You already seen the Delta variant. You already seen the Omicron variant. You already seen Ebola the past, like 2 or 3 years ago. Y'all seeing all these other plagues picking up, right? These are what the 10 plagues of the apocalypse of Abraham. Y'all seen it. Y'all seen the witness before your eyes. This on a greater scale. And it says in verse 56, 55 again. And the Lord said to Moses, Behold, thou wilt see that with an outstretched hand and heavy plagues, Pharaoh will send the children of Israel from his land. And Moses and Aaron dwelt amongst their brethren in the children of Israel in Egypt. And as for the children of Israel, the Egyptians embittered their lives with the heavy work which they imposed upon them. So they were just beating us up left and right. We had no breaks. Just like you have no breaks today. I mean, you got a little bit of freedom, but not much. Same thing. Same thing. Let's go to Exodus chapter 1, verse 13. Exodus 1 and 13. Exodus chapter 1, verse 13. Exodus 1 and 13. And the Egyptians made the children of Israel to serve with rigor. What is rigor? It's harshness. And the Egyptians made the children of Israel to serve with rigor, harshness, no breaks. No breaks whatsoever. Let's go to Judith in your Apocrypha. Judith. Judith chapter 5, verse 11. Judith chapter 5 and verse 11. And it reads, Therefore the king of Egypt rose up against them and dealt subtilely with them and brought them low with laboring in brick and made them slaves. What? Therefore the king of Egypt rose up against them and dealt subtilly with them and brought them low with laboring in brick and made them slaves. We were born into slavery, Israel. We were born into slavery. So for the other people over there in the nation of over there in the Middle East, trying to take our credit, where we became back a Jewish state again, blah, blah, blah. No, you didn't. You ain't taking nobody's place. Nobody's place. First Maccabees 13. First Maccabees chapter 13, verses 28. First Maccabees 13 and 28, and it reads, moreover, he set upon 7 pyramids, one against another, for his father and his mother and for his brethren. Y'all see that? Moreover, he set up 7 pyramids, one against another, for his father and for his mother and for his brethren. And in these he made cunning devices, and about which he set great pillars, and upon the pillars he made all the armor for a perpetual memory, and by the armor ships carved, that they might be seen of all that sail on the sea. So every single pyramid that's out there, the nation of Israel built them. We built the pyramids over here in the Americas. We built the pyramids over there in the Middle East. We did that. And for these people out there, these heathenistic Gentiles, to say, oh, aliens must have built those. Well, damn right, you got it right? Because y'all called us aliens before, didn't you not? Y'all called us aliens before, right? You're just refraining in a different matter. You called Mexicans aliens, and you called the whole nation of Israel aliens. Oh, aliens built the pyramids. You know what's crazy too, right? Is that the Americas have some of the oldest landmarks in the world. They have the oldest trees, the oldest rocks. The pyramids over here were built just like the pyramids were built over there in the Middle East. Everything's coming back in a full circle. Let's go to the seal portion 79. The seal portion, chapter 79. Seal portion 79. The seal portion 79. And we're going to read verses 14 and 20 through 25. The seal portion, chapter 14 through 25. And it reads, and many of these rich men shall unite together and form an alliance, even according to the covenants and the bonds of the secret combinations of old. What? So the people today, they're over there plotting in their little chambers, in their little offices, in their little crevices, and, under the grounds and inside, the Cheyenne Mountain, over there and on these military bases, everywhere, they're plotting. And they said, this is what they're saying. And many of these rich men shall unite together and form an alliance, even according to the covenants and the bonds of the secret combinations of old. Nothing new under the sun. So the same thing that you see they're doing today, they did it back then. Same thing, just on a different level. And these rich men shall be desirous to rebel against the laws that shall be established among them, so that they can establish their own laws that will serve them in their desires for more gain. And these men shall be men of great intelligence, who have much power in speaking and in writing. And they shall begin to influence the poor from among them, who shall be the majority. What? And they shall begin to influence the poor among them, who shall be the majority, to join and cause and fight for them against the government which they belong. But the rich shall not fight. What? But the rich shall not fight. What? The rich shall not fight, but shall establish a law amongst themselves, that for the payment of money, what? That for the payment of money, even $300, as the number of the beasts shall be called by this great and final beast, they shall be exempt from the conscription. And these same men shall be inspired by Lucifer to set up their nation and their laws in such a way that they can maintain control over the minds and the hearts of the poor and the majority. And now, ye of the latter days shall also give praise and honor to those whom you refer to the fathers of your nation. What? So today, they're over here sitting there saying, well, let's give praise to Mount Rushmore because those are our founding fathers. Bullshit. Y'all ain't my founding fathers. Mount Rushmore, those are the founding fathers of the Gentile nations, not mine. Those ain't my founding fathers. So you can keep your education, you can shove it up where the sun don't shine, all right? That's where you can put those little statue heads. But yeah, you can just take them down. Every single one of them. They have another Abraham monument, Abraham Lincoln monument over here between Cheyenne, Wyoming and Laramie, Wyoming. They could take that one down too. Saying, oh, Abraham freed the slaves. No, you didn't. You didn't do a damn thing. Besides run your mouth and get that paycheck. That's all you did. See, this is what a lot of people today, even our people, are just giving, oh, let's go see Mount Rushmore. Let's go see this guy. Let's go see him sit on his ass over there in Washington, D.C. Blah, blah, blah. Let's go see the Declaration of Independence. Let's go see the Constitution. Let's go see the Bill of Rights. Let's go do this. Let's go do that. Nah. Go and find your own history. Israel, go find your own history. It's written in the books. And it says in Seal Portion, chapter 79, verse 20, and now ye of the latter days shall also give praise and honor to those whom you refer as the fathers of your nation. Yeah, truly, they are the fathers of your nation. But wherein is their righteousness, according to the words of Christ? Okay, over there at Mount Rushmore, Gentiles. Mount Rushmore, those are your founding fathers, right? But what is it according to their righteousness is the big question. How are they righteous? How are they righteous because they came over here and just killed a lot of Native Americans, killed a lot of Mexicans, killed a lot of Negroes? Or what? You call that righteous? Okay, you can call it what you want because we're gonna bring it out. We're gonna bring it out. You're gonna see the facts behind of what these secret combinations are actually going into. Let's keep banging on this real quick. Behold, I have told you. Hold on. Let's reverse it real quick. Verse 20. And now ye of the latter days shall also give praise and honor to those whom you refer as your fathers of your nation. Yeah, truly, they are the fathers of your nation. But wherein is their righteousness according to the words of Christ? Behold, as I told you, you do not judge unless it is done according to the Spirit in righteousness. You must know that these men shall be servants of Satan. What? Ye must know that these men shall be servants of Satan, who shall set up the government of your nation to get gain for themselves. And like those leaders of the kingdoms of Satan before them, they have done all things that they might get gain and protect themselves and their families. Know ye not that many of these founding fathers that ye hold in such high esteem held men of dark skin in servitude? Oh, what? Oh, that's cold. That was cold right there. There, you can read it for yourself. Read that for yourself. Read it. What they do? These people held men of dark skin, people with melanated skin, in servitude. Y'all see that? I'm a brother with light skin, melanin in my skin, right? They held my people in bondage. All 50 shades of brown. They held us in bondage. Let's read that again. Know ye not that many of these founding fathers that ye hold in such high esteem held men of dark skin in servitude? Behold, there is no man that is influenced by the Spirit of Christ. What? Behold, there is no man that is influenced by the Spirit of Christ who can hold another man in servitude, so that he might get gain. And I have shown unto you that the beginning of the half of time had not yet begun when these men brought forth the nation which you will become the eighth beast of which John speaketh. The what? The eighth beast in which John speaks about. All right, so now let's go and get a little bit more information how it applies today. Because they're twisting up the words. They're twisting up the words and making it seem like, oh, these people over here. See, the problem with men, all right? The problem with men, and I see it all the time, family, is that people are always trying to force things together when they don't even fit. So, for instance, a puzzle piece. You see that the puzzle piece is made in a certain shape, right? You try to put it together. I'm pretty sure y'all done it before. You try to put the puzzle pieces together. Oh, it fits. Wait, I think it does. Wait, hold up. It doesn't fit. It don't match the image. So I'm gonna force it to fit. I'm gonna force it to fit. See, that's what's going on today. A lot of you men out there are always trying to force things that don't fit. Stop doing that. You understand me? Don't do it. Take your characteristics and build upon what you have. Stop trying to be other people that you're not. Stop trying to force things that don't apply. Just like Ish. Stop trying to be us. Stop. Until you're going through the bullshit that we gone through, you have no right to be speaking. You Christians out there, you're over here trying to send money to these Jewish people over here, right? You're trying to send money to them, but yet you still got people over here in the ghettos, over here in the Americas, but yeah, you want to run to the poverty that's over there in Africa. Makes no sense, right? Somebody's lying to you. Somebody's lying to you. All right, let's go to Psalms 83. Psalms 83. Everybody knows this one, right? Psalms 83. Keep not thou silence, O God. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O God. For lo, thy enemies maketh a tumult, and they have hated, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. And they are taking crafty counsel. What is crafty counsel? Secret combinations of old. They are taking crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come, and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together for one consent, and they are confederate against thee. The tabernacles of Edom, and the Ishmaelites, and of Moab, and the Hagarians, Gilboa, and Ammon, and Amalek, and the Philistines, and with the inhabitants of Tyre. All right, so all these people are confederate against the nation of Israel. So are these people confederate against the Ish people? No, they're not. No, they're working together. They confederate against people over here in the ghettos. That's why they're trying to keep us silent. They're trying to prophesy, tickle our ears, tell us good things. Let's go to the book of Enoch. Let me show you. So we're going to keep going off of what, how they supposedly built the Americas over here. The good old USA. We're going to show you how they built that. Enoch chapter 93. Enoch chapter 93 verses Enoch 103, not Enoch 103, but Enoch, we're in the book of Enoch chapter 93, verses 6 and down. And it reads, woe unto those who build up iniquity and oppression, and who lay the foundation of fraud. Mount Rushmore, your foundation is built on fraud. USA, your foundation is built on fraud. Rome, your foundation is built on fraud. The 10 kings out there, your foundation is built on fraud. Russia, your foundation is built on fraud. China, your foundation is built on fraud. Everything. All y'all people out there, your foundation is built on fraud. Why? Because you're over here killing the nation of Israel. You're killing the people over here in the ghettos. And you're over here taking credit. This is y'all garbage. Now you got to clean it up. Whatever you sow, you're going to reap. Let's keep reading this. Woe to those who build up iniquity. We're in Enoch 93, verses 6. Woe to those who build up iniquity and oppression, and who lay the foundation of fraud. For suddenly they shall be servitude and never attain peace. Ish. All you Ish people out there, you're never going to get peace over there in the Middle East, so stop your bullshit. Stop. No peace is going over there. Donald Trump didn't sign shit. You hear me? Oh, Donald Trump signed a peace treaty. No, he didn't. Ain't no gonna be no peace over here until the nation of Israel, the true people of the book, get in their rightful place, remember who they are, follow the law, statutes, and commandments, and teach this to y'all, wicked ass people. Woe unto those who build up their houses with crime. From their very foundation shall their houses be demolished. And by the sword shall they themselves fall. Those too who acquire gold and silver shall justly and suddenly perish. Oh, man. Y'all see how much gold the Queen of England got in her cabinet? She walking up in her kitchen like, cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. Let me go downstairs, cha-ching. The Queen of England, man, I feel bad for you. I feel bad for her. She says, the word is saying right here in Enoch 93 and 7. Woe unto those who build up their houses with crime. From their very foundations shall their houses be demolished, and by the sword they themselves fall. Those who acquire gold and silver shall justly and suddenly perish. Woe to you who are rich. What? Woe to you who are rich. Oh. When the Most High says woe, you're in bad. When the Most High says woe, that's not a good sign. But it says, woe unto you who are rich, for in your riches you have trusted. Mind on my money and the money on my mind. But from your riches you shall be removed. What? But from your riches you shall be removed, because you have not remembered the Most High in the days of your prosperity. You shall be removed because you have not remembered the Most High in the days of your prosperity. He said that twice. You have committed blasphemy and iniquity, and are destined to the day of infusion of blood, to the day of darkness. What? To the day of darkness and to the day of great judgment. And this I declare and point out to you, that he who created you will destroy you. When you fall, he will not show you mercy, but your Creator will rejoice with your destruction. Let those then who shall be righteous among you in those days detest sinners and the ungodly. Let's get a quick precept real quick. That sounds very, very familiar. Very familiar. Very familiar. So we just read in Enoch chapter 93, verses 9 through 11. This I declare and point out to you, that he who created you will destroy you. When you fall, he will not show you mercy, but your Creator will rejoice in your destruction. Let those then who shall be righteous among you in those days detest sinners and the ungodly. Let's go to Proverbs chapter 1, verses 22. How long, ye simple ones, will you love simplicity? And the scorners delight in their scorning, and the fools hate knowledge. Turn you at my reproof. Behold, I will pour out my spirit unto you, and I will make my words, what? My words known unto you. What I'm doing right now. Thanks to the Most High. Give all praise, honor, and glory to Him. Turn you at my reproof. Behold, I will pour out my spirit unto you. I will make known my words to you, because I have called and ye have refused. I have stretched out my hand, and no man regarded. Be ye set at not all my counsel, and with none of my reproof. I also will laugh at your calamity, and I will mock when your fear cometh. When your fear cometh as desolation, and your destruction cometh as a whirlwind, when distress and anguish cometh upon you. You're probably like, oh, Micaiah, please stop reading that book, man. Stop reading it. You're taking the man behind the curtain. Oh, just stop, please. Nah, I'm gonna keep banging on it. I want my Savior to come back, and I want to be on top with my people and with the chosen Gentiles. Let's keep going. Let's go to Habakkuk 2 and 12. Habakkuk 2 and 12. Let's go to the book of Habakkuk 2 and 12. 1 second. We're almost there. Hold on. Habakkuk chapter 2 verse 12. And it reads, Woe to him that buildeth a town with blood, and establish a city by iniquity. Woe to him that buildeth with a town with blood, and establish a city by iniquity. It says, woe unto you. Woe unto you that did all that by killing innocent people. Woe unto you, says the Most High. Let's go to your second stick. Let's go to 2 Nephi chapter 16. 2nd Nephi chapter 16. And let me see. 3rd Nephi 16. 3rd Nephi 16 is lucky. Third Nephi 16. 3rd Nephi 16. And we're going to read verse 10. And thus commanded, we're in the second stick. 3rd Nephi chapter 16 verse 10. And thus commanded the Father that I say unto you, at the day when the Gentiles shall sin against my gospel, and shall reject the fullness of my gospel, and shall be lifted up in the pride of their hearts above all nations, and above all the people of the whole earth, shall be filled with all manner of lyings, and of deceits, and of mischiefs, and all manner of hypocrisy, and murders, and priestcrafts, and whoredoms, and of secret combinations. And if they shall do all those things, shall reject the fullness of my gospel, behold, said the Father, I will bring the fullness of my gospel from among them, which he's already doing. That's prophecy. You're already seeing the prophecy being before your eyes. Let's go to the Melchizedek book. The book of Remembrance of Melchizedek. We're going to go into let me see, hold on one second. Melchizedek chapter 6. Book of Melchizedek chapter 6. All right, the book of Melchizedek. The book of Remembrance of Melchizedek. Chapter 6, verse 41. And in the third decision of the first great sevening of the winds of home and family blew through Maine, and all the people sought out their relatives and old friends, and they began to look to the listeners to recount for their lineage. And when they decided that they would live in holy communities and complete freedom and holiness. So this is what we're trying to do as righteous people. This is what we're trying to do. But it says right here, but the Dakotashi, what? The Dakotashi, the fallen watchers, the Nephilim. But the Dakotashi and the wicked, what? The wicked decided to live in cities. So the wicked and the fallen angels, they have decided to live in cities and to secure their positions of esteem by oppression, and they have dominated others through the pursuit of deceit and the force of violence. And they use the satisfaction of possessions to keep their people under control. Y'all hear that? I'm going to start it again where it says the Dakotashi. But the Dakotashi and the wicked decided to live in cities and to secure their positions of esteem by oppression, and they dominated others through their pursuit of deceit and the force of violence. And they used the satisfaction of possessions to keep their people under control. You want to know who's running your city? The wicked are running your city, and the fallen angels, the fallen watchers, the Dakotashi, are what are in your cities today. They're in the cities of Chicago. They're in the cities of New York, Washington, D.C. They're over there in Seattle, all these cities. In Denver, Colorado. They're over there in Los Angeles. Y'all seen that before, right? The city of angels, us fallen angels. The seal portion, 76. The seal portion, 76. Still portion, chapter 76. And we're going to read verses 1 through 26. But we're going to look at the header of the still portion, chapter 76. It says, but we're going to look at the very, very bottom of it. The rich rule the government of the people with their secret combinations. Let's look at verses 1 now. And now it is necessary that I explain to you more concerning the periods of time when the Spirit of God does not extract with the spirits of the children of men to guide them in which that they should do. Behold, I explain these time periods unto you, but it is expedient that you understand that all the children of God have been blessed with this conscience that enabled them to know the good from the bad, or in other words, that which bringeth happiness and that which bringeth misery. And if a man doeth not have the companionship of the Holy Ghost, this does not mean that he does not understand that which is good and that which is evil. Behold, all of us understand these things from our own experience and become of the blessings of a conscience that the Father has given unto us. And when a man doth not have the Spirit of God, he can still do that which is good and bringeth happiness to his soul. But that which he doeth to himself, and therefore bringeth joy and glory to himself. So a man out there can not have the Spirit of God, but he's out there living a dream right now. But the only person he's going to thank is himself. And he's going to bring glory to himself. Verse 5. Now this part of the plan of Lucifer, even that a man should bring glory to himself and the works of his own hands, instead of giving the glory and honor to the Father who created him. And without the Father, this man could not exist to experience happiness of any kind. Therefore, the honor and the glory of all things should be given unto God. And the works of man will always be received the honors and glories of man. What? And the works of man. What? The works of man will always receive the honors and glories of man. Here, let me give you the man award, the man of the year award. But the works of God will always demonstrate the glory and honor that is in him. And the plan of Lucifer indeed provideth joy and happiness to those who follow it. But as I said to you before, his plan does not account for those things which are not temporal, even those things which are eternal. For the works by the hand of the hands of man shall end when that man dieth and leaveth his temporal existence and enter into an eternal realm that hath nothing that bringeth a temporal joy, but bringeth an eternal joy in all things. And the works of God cannot be destroyed. What? And the works of God cannot be destroyed, for they are eternal. But the works of man, which are temporal, are always destroyed through the effects of the actions of other men, or through the effects of the actions of those things which are eternal by nature. What? By nature. So man's creation is going to get destroyed by nature. So it is that Lucifer that had provided for the happiness of his children, so that they might have their conscience satisfied, though satisfied enough to continue in the course of his plan. And during this medieval time, Satan shall cause to be deployed many great cities. What? And during this medieval time, Satan shall cause to be developed many great cities, and all the nations of the earth shall flourish and prosper in the temporal blessings that he hath promised to those who follow his plan. And the people of the earth shall begin to fall further away from their dependence on natural order of the things which God hath ordained. That's a decoy. For them, and they shall depend upon the things that Satan hath offered them in his plan. And because the things of the earth have a value placed upon them, the people shall begin to hoard these things and take more than that which is necessary to sustain their lives. And the rich shall begin to depend upon their money, which is their gold and their silver and their precious gems. And this money shall begin to be the most prized possession of all the people of the earth. For with gold and silver and precious gems the people shall trade for that which their heart desires, and the poor shall become many because of the wants and the needs of the few who are rich and who control the wealth and the money and the prices which are paid for the things of the earth. Yeah, there shall be many poor because of their inability to have money and purchase that which they create in their own hands for the rich. Behold, the poor shall work all the days of their lives. What? Behold, the poor shall work all the days of their lives, providing the rich with the things that they need to live in easiness and leisure. And when the poor, through their hard labor, produce a thing, then the rich shall place a price on it, which is already predetermined. What? Predetermined by them so that they might receive some sort of gain from it. Wow. They place a value upon your head. My people who have understanding, you became a product of society. You're just a walking, laboring ATM. That's all you are. That's all we are. We were born into slavery. Ever since the very beginning, from the times of Egypt until now, we were born into slavery. But that doesn't stop you from like finding your peace within yourself and trying to find peace within the Most High. We'll keep going. Verse 21, and during the medieval times, there were those who did not want to produce through their labors that which would support the rich in their luxury. And these would make an attempt to live in all things according to the laws of nature, taking from the earth only that which they need to sustain their lives and the lives of their children. And these wanted nothing to do with the system of the economy of the beast, which system was based on the money that the rich invented and controlled. That's your Joe Osteens, that's your Creative Flow Dollar. These are your people. These are your Bill Gates, your Rockefeller, Rothschild people. This is them. Nevertheless, the rich are powerful and have their secret combinations and develop a way whereby all the people will be forced to produce that which they need for their own comfort. Behold, first there are few and landowners. Behold, first there were few landowners who were not rich, and the rich would make contracts with the poor, giving unto the poor a portion of their land as a grant, with the simplicity in that payment for the land. So they're basically bribing you. And simplicity in that in the payment for the land, a part of that which the poor produced that would be given to the rich who owned the land as rent. And then the king would demand of the poor of a portion of that which they produce as a tax. So the rich buy your land, they make you live on it, and they're taxing you. That's how Caesar's getting his money. And it says, and the king would demand of the portion, demand of the poor a portion of which they produced as a tax, which was to be used according to the pretense of the king to defend the land of the poor against their enemies, as I explained it to you. And if the poor did not produce that which they was wanted by the rich or by the king, in order that they might pay their taxes, it's the same thing we did back in Egypt, then they would be forced to exchange that which they produced for the money of the rich, which could then be traded for anything upon which the rich have already placed is a predetermined value. See how they up to date the words of the same thing that happened in Egypt? And since the rich set the value for all things, and since they are also demand of the poor, the things which they want to satisfy their lust and their easiness of living without working by the sweat of their own brow, the poor are forced to submission to the will of the rich. What? The poor are forced to submission to the will of the rich, even their very existence. And if a man refuses to pay his taxes or refuses to provide for the rich those things that are demanded of him, then the rich would pay money to others who would come and take the man and cast him into prison or kill him. The same thing that we just read in the book of Joshua, chapter 65, and also in 79. And in this manner, the rich fix the laws of the land, which the laws are established and enforced by the means of the secret combinations among them. Let's go to the seal portion 85. We're going to look at the header. Seal portion 85. So portion 85, we're going to look at the header. It says, the humble come from Europe. No, you don't. No, you don't. The humble come from Europe to America to seek religious freedom. No, you don't. No, you don't. You just come over here so you can get gain. That's all. American government. What? American government is set up to cater to the rich. Oh man, that hurts, huh? Some of y'all people out here are like, man, y'all probably voting for Democrat or Republican, or whatever the hell kin you are. You're like, damn, you got him again. American government is set up to cater to the rich. Slavery is introduced as the greatest sin next to murder. The U.S. Constitution was created by what? The U.S. Constitution was created by, for, and because of the rich. Here, I'll let you look at that. See that? Y'all see that? The U.S. Constitution, the Bill of Rights, all that was made for the rich. It ain't made for the poor people. So if you poor and you're on those streets trying to protest, they're not going to hear you. They're not going to hear you when you're out there screaming your lungs out, getting shot up, stabbed in these riots or whatever. They're not going to hear you. You over here trying to support Black Lives Matter, they're not going to hear you. They're not going to care. The rich, they don't care. The U.S. Constitution, the Bill of Rights, the Declaration of Independence was made to and by the rich. The American government caters to the rich. Ooh. Probably going to have a price tag on my foot, huh? All right, let's keep going. Let's go on. The seal portion 85, we're going to read verses 5 through 10. And we're going to do Hebrew hopscotch and go to verse 40. And now the rich are not the only people who shall bring forth much misery among the children of men in the latter days. Yeah, before the establishment of this nation, what nation? The US of A. Even soon after the arrival of some Gentiles who shall come upon the land immediately after it was discovered by their explorers. Who? See, it was Christopher Columbus, right? And that Cortez dude. And by their explorers, there shall be many who are pious, and the hypocrites who think of themselves as the purest of the children of God, and that their faith and their religion is the only one of God upon the earth. So what did they do to that movie on Apocalypse? What they show you in that movie? They were showing you that the people over there in the Amazon rainforest, they were just chilling. They were minding their business, and all of a sudden, these colonizers just came, and they gave you the cross. They gave you the cross of the Roman Catholicism and Christianity. Our forefathers knew nothing of Islam. They knew nothing about reading the Quran. They knew nothing about reading these different sects of these scriptures, which the Roman Catholic Church uses. So if you're saying you're a Roman Catholic, then you're basically saying you're against your own people that look just like you. That you're doing it out of your ignorance. But the Most High, he winks at your ignorance. Most High winks at your ignorance. He winked at mine. All right, let's keep reading. Still portion 85 and 6. And when the people bringing beginnings to believe this of themselves, they became exceedingly wicked, and their judgments of others, and it shall come to pass that there shall be upon this land those who profess to follow the words of Christ, but shall not do those things which he had done, commanded of them, because of his spirit shall not be with them. So these people over here bringing the cross over here to the Americas, they're over here thinking that they're religious and that they're the only true people of God, and that the religion is the only religion upon earth. They're taking God's name in vain. That's what they're doing. The Roman Catholic Church took the Most High's God, his name in vain, because they're professing that, oh, we're godly, we're chosen, but yet they're over here doing wickedness. So therefore, they took God's name in vain. Verse 7, for they shall persecute and cause to be killed anyone who does not bow down to their religious leaders and abide by their precepts that these leaders shall introduce among the people. And they shall cause many of the Lamanites to be killed, whose only crime unto them is their desire to be left alone. So we just want to be left alone, right? But yeah, you got all these people over here trying to kill us because we want our peace. We're just over here just chilling. People busting our door. We're just chilling, kicking back. That's all we're doing. We're just kicking back. Kicking back, being bold. That's all. And they shall cause many of the Lamanites to be killed, whose only crime unto them is their desire to be left alone and to live in peace in the lands that they had inherited from their fathers. But these hypocrites shall persecute them and hate them and cause them to be destroyed by their weapons of war. What? Weapons of war, which weapons shall be unlike any other weapons that the world have ever known. What? That the weapons of war, which weapons shall be unlike any other weapons that the world hath never known up until this time. What is that? That is your 9mm. That is your shotgun. That is your AK-47. That is your AR-15s. Those are your Glocks. Those are your pistols, your pistolas, your bangers, your pow-pows. And all these weapons shall be called flintlocks and rifles and all manner of guns, which by little effort can take the life of another by him who raiseth one of these weapons against another. And with these weapons shall the Gentiles begin to destroy the Lamanites, and also those who do not abide by the commandments and the precepts taught unto them by the leaders of their churches. Your church ain't going to teach you this. Your church is not going to teach you this. Family, if you have a gun in your possession, put it down. Our people, the nation of Israel, knew nothing about bearing arms. We knew nothing about it. You should have seen when Christopher Columbus came over here, right? When they were having a little British bullshit war over here on the lands, when the so-called British were fighting the Americans, whatever. The Native Americans, they gained possession of these rifles, of these flints. They're like, oh, what is this? What is this? Oh, I'm going to look my eye in the barrel of this gun. Hey, they'll be looking at this, just like Tarzan was curious when he was looking at Jane, like, hey, what is this? What is this? I'm not familiar with this. Looking at the eyes of the barrel of that gun, and there's another one of the Native Americans looks like this little thing right here, the trigger, right? He pushes it. The other guy's face is blown to bits. Like, whoa, what is this? I've never seen this before. And the other neighbors are like, what? What? The nation of Israel knew nothing about bearing arms. But yet you over here trying to carry a gun on your hip to Bible study, man. What is wrong with you? What's your problem? What's your problem? I don't understand you. Stop trying to be like them and be yourself. And it says, and with these weapons shall the Gentiles begin to destroy the Lamanites, and also all those who do not abide by the commandments and the precepts taught to them by the leaders of their church. We're going to look at verse 40 now. Still portion 85 and 40. And it shall come to pass that with their cunningness and their expertise in deceiving those who cannot read, and are generally the poor among them, the rich shall produce a declaration of independence from the mother nation, America, the United States of America, that requires a tax of their riches. Back in the days, when we're picking cotton or just busting our butt in the field, right? We weren't supposed to read. Y'all ever seen that movie, Birth of a Nation? We weren't supposed to read the Bible. We weren't supposed to read these books, because if we did, we got killed. We would have got killed. So this is why they teaching us their education, and now we can read. They're like, oh shoot, this nigga over here reading. This wetback over here reading. What? He can read? What? Oh snap. He found out what's causing our destruction. He found out what's causing our destruction. All right, but it says right there, and it shall come to pass with their cunningness and their expertise in deceiving those who cannot read, and are generally the poor among them, the rich shall produce a declaration of independence from the mother nation that requireth a tax of their riches. And this declaration shall further deceive the poor into thinking that the rich care for them and look out for their best interest, and that the rich are only doing what is good for all in equality. There is no equality. Stop your bullshit. And it shall come to pass that by the blood of the poor, the rich merchants of the United States shall establish themselves as a great nation, and with continued flattery and the abominations of their politicians, the rich shall continue to rule with great power over the poor. And the poor shall be convinced that this new form of government is wise and inspired by God, so that all liberty and justice might become to pass. So that's basically telling you that they used the book of Romans chapter 13 to keep you under their power. If you go to church, your pastor will be like, oh, submit to the higher powers established by the government over here. See, It's all a lie. Only people with great understanding can understand this. Let's go to Deuteronomy 28. Deuteronomy 28. Deuteronomy 28 real fast. These people need to stop calling me. I am busy. Deuteronomy 28 verses 49. Deuteronomy 28 verses 49. The Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far. What? The Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far, from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flieth, a nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand, a nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the person of old, nor show favor to the young. Uh-oh. So that means if you offend one of these little ones that believe in me, it's the same as if you throw a neck with a big old rock and you toss it in the ocean and let it just take you down and drown you. Yeah. I feel bad. Oh man, these people gonna get it. Oh, they gonna get it. But it says, the Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far. From far. So you're trying to sit here and tell me that the Holy Bible is written over here in the Americas? That all 12 tribes of Israel came over here? Yes. We all came from the Americas. It's one big circle. One big circle. So we were over here. Some of our people went over there. And some of our other people went over there. Then we came back over here. And then they came back over here. The Lord shall bring a nation against thee from afar, the end of the earth. It says from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flieth. What is America's national bird? It is the eagle, right? It is the eagle. Let's go to Lamentations 4. Lamentations chapter 4, verses 19. Lamentations 4 and 19. Lamentations 4 and 19, it says, our persecutors are swifter than the eagles of the heaven. They pursued us upon the mountains. They laid wait for us in the wilderness. So be cautious, Israel. Brothers and sisters, be cautious. If you've seen the scripture, be cautious. But it says right there, our persecutors are swifter than the eagles of the heaven. They pursue us upon the mountains. They laid wait for us in the wilderness. They're waiting. But they have no navigation inside the wilderness because they dumb as rocks. I'm sorry, Ebedel, you're beautiful. All right? Ebedel is the rocks. But I'm just trying to rephrase it. These people, they never knew their navigation. That's why they use Pocahontas. They use Pocahontas. Let's go to Lamentations 3. Not Lamentations, Zephaniah. Zephaniah. Zephaniah chapter 3, 1. It says, woe to her that is filthy and polluted, to the oppressing city. She obeyeth not the voice. She received not correction. She trusted not in the Lord. She drew not near to her God. Her princes within her are roaring lions. Her judges are evening wolves. They gnaw not the bones until the morrow. Her prophets are light and treacherous persons. Her priests have polluted the sanctuary. They have done violence to the law. The just of the Lord is in the midst thereof. He will do not iniquity every morning till he bring this judgment and lo. All right. He faileth not, but his unjust knoweth not no shame. I have cut off the nations. Their towers are desolate. I made their streets to waste. So what are you seeing right now? You're seeing these cities being to waste. Y'all seen that tornado? Y'all see those twin towers fall down? Let's read that again in Zephaniah 3 and 6. I cut off the nations. Their towers are desolate. I made their streets waste, that none passeth by. Their cities are destroyed, so that there is no man, that there is none inhabitant. Remember I was telling you over there in the book of Remembrance of Melchizedek, is that the wicked and the Dakota tribe, the fallen angels, the Nephilim, they are the ones who are ruling these cities, and these cities are being destroyed. Let's go to Proverbs chapter 21. Proverbs chapter 21. Proverbs chapter 21. And we're going to read verses 20. There is treasure to be desired, and oil in the dwelling of the wise, but a foolish man spendeth it up. He that followeth after righteousness and mercy findeth life. Righteousness, hold on, let me see real quick. All right. He that followeth after righteousness and the mercy findeth life, righteousness and honor. All right, let's go back. There is no treasure to be desired, and the oil in the dwelling of the wise, but a foolish man spendeth it up. Let's go to Proverbs 22 and 7. And it reads, the rich ruleth over the poor. The rich ruleth over the poor, and the borrower is a servant unto the lender. Y'all see that? Proverbs 22 and 7. The rich ruleth over the poor, and the borrower is a servant to the lender. And that goes along with Baruch chapter 3 verse 8, that we are subject to payments. Let's go to Ecclesiastes 8 and 10. And I saw that the wicked buried, and so I saw the wicked buried, who had come and gone from the place of the holy city. And they were forgotten in the city where they had done in this also in vanity. All right. Ecclesiastes chapter 8 verse 10. And so I saw the wicked buried, who had come and gone from the place of the holy, and they were forgotten in the city, and they had so done this also vanity. All right, let's keep going. Let's go to, we're going to hear our last bulletin. Blessed are the poor. Let's go to Luke. Luke chapter 4, verse 18. The Spirit of the Lord is upon me, because he hath anointed me to preach the gospel to the poor. The Most High wants a relationship with you. So he's lifting people up, men of valor, men of fine gold. He's raising them up. He's teaching these people the ways of old, righteous ways of old. But it says, the Spirit of the Lord is upon me because he hath anointed me to preach the gospel to the poor. Why didn't he say he preached the gospel to the rich? Because the rich have everything they need. And they have self-glory and they don't need God. The Spirit of the Lord is upon me because he anointed me to preach the gospel to the poor. Why do the poor need the gospel? Because they need to know that their spirit is rich. He hath sent me to heal the brokenhearted, to preach deliverance to the captives, and the covering of the sight to the blind, to set at liberty them that are bruised, to preach the acceptable year of the Lord. Let's go to Matthew chapter 5, verses 3. Actually, let's go to verse 3. Matthew chapter 5, verses 3. This is the Beatitudes. Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are they that mourn, for they shall be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. Blessed are they which do hunger and thirst after righteousness, for they shall be filled. Blessed are the merciful, for they shall obtain mercy. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. What? Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of God. Blessed are they which are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are you when men shall revile you and persecute you, and shall say all manner of evil against you falsely, for my sake. Rejoice and be exceedingly glad, for great is your reward in heaven. For so persecuted they the prophets which were before you. Ye are the salt of the earth, but if the salt has lost its savor, wherewith shall it be salted? And thenceforth good for nothing but to be cast out and to be trodden underfoot of men. So wherever there is flavor in the nations, there are Israelites over there. We stir up the flavor. Let's go to Luke 16. Luke 16. Luke chapter 16, and we're going to read verses 19 through 31. 19 to 31, and it reads, there was a certain rich man, which was clothed in purple and fine linen, and fared sumptuously every day. And there was a certain beggar named Lazarus, which was laid at his gate full of sores, and desired to be fed with the crumbs which fell from the rich man's table. Moreover, the dogs came and licked his sores. And it came to pass that what does that mean? The dogs came and licked Lazarus' sores. The dogs were showing compassion on Lazarus. And it came to pass that the beggar died and was carried by the angels into Abraham's bosom. The rich man also died and was buried. And in hell he lifted up his eyes, being in torments. Why? Because the spirit left immediately. And in hell he lifted up his eyes, being in torments, and seeth Abraham afar off, and Lazarus in his bosom. And he said unto Father Abraham, have mercy upon me, and send Lazarus, that he may dip the tip of his finger in water, and cool my tongue. for I am tormented in this flame. For Abraham said, Son, remember that thou in thy lifetime did receive thy good things, and likewise Lazarus evil things. But now he is comforted, and thou art tormented. And beside all this, between us and you, there is a great gulf fixed, and so that what they would do to come pass into you cannot, neither can they pass into us that will come from hence. And he said, I pray thee thenceforth, Father, that thou wouldst send us him to my father's house. For I have 5 brethren, that he said may testify unto them, lest they also come into this place of torment. What place of torment? Abraham said unto him, They have Moses and the prophets, let them hear them. And they said, Nay, Father Abraham, but if went to from them from the dead, then they will repent. And he said unto them, If they hear not Moses and the prophets, neither will they be persuaded through the one who rose from the dead. That's why the scripture is telling you it is easier that a camel go through the eye of a needle than for a rich man, because a rich man has everything that he needs. All the rich people of today's earth, they have everything that they need today. All right? They have everything that they need. It's easier for a camel to go through the eye of the needle than for a rich man to get into the kingdom of heaven. Isaiah chapter 40. Let's go to Isaiah chapter 40. Isaiah chapter 40. Isaiah chapter 40, verses 1 through 5. Comfort ye my people, saith your God. Speak ye comfortably to Jerusalem. What? What did that say? Comfort my people, saith your God. Speak ye comfortably to Jerusalem, and cry unto her, that her welfare is accomplished, that her iniquity is pardoned, for she hath received of the Lord hand double for all her sins. The voice of him that crieth into the wilderness, prepare ye the way of the Lord, make straight in the desert a highway for our God. Where are we at? 1 through 5. Whoa, what just happened? Okay, every valley shall be exalted, every mountain and hill shall be made low, and the crook shall be made straight, and through the rough places plain. And the glory of the Lord shall be revealed, and all flesh shall see it together, for the mouth of the Lord hath spoken it. All right, let's go to verse 29. Isaiah chapter 40, verse 29. He giveth power to the faint, and to them that hath no might, he increases strength. Y'all see that? He increases strength. Let's go to Psalms 51. We're almost about done, fam. Psalms 51 and verse 17. The sacrifices of God are a broken spirit, a broken and contrite heart, O God, that would not despise. So Caesar wants your money. The Most High wants a broken heart and a broken spirit, so that he can work on you through humility and not through being pride and proudful. See, man wants to be pride and proudful. That's how you gain favor from man. But if you want honor and glory from the Most High, you come to him with a broken heart and a contrite spirit. That's how you receive the Most High's blessings. Because the Most High's blessings are everlasting, while man's work by his hands are temporal. Let's go to Acts 26, 17 and 18. Acts 26, 17 and 18. Delivering thee from the people and from the Gentiles, unto whom now I send thee. What? Delivering thee from the people and from the Gentiles, unto whom now I send thee, to open their eyes, and to turn them from darkness to light, and from the power of Satan to God, that they may receive forgiveness of sins, and inheritance among them that which satisfied by faith that is in me. So the Most High wants to send men of gold to open up your eyes so that you can receive forgiveness of your sins, so you can repent and get water baptized. And now you can feast upon the words of Christ and show you that all 8 of these books that we did is to bring honor and glory to the Most High. Let's go to 1 Samuel 12. 1 Samuel chapter 12 and verse 24. 1 Samuel verse 12, chapter 12, 1 Samuel chapter 12, we'll look at verse 22. Actually, let's go up to verse 21. 1 Samuel chapter 12, verses 21. And turn ye not aside from them, should ye go after vain things. What is vain things? Money. Which cannot profit nor deliver, for they are vain. For the Lord will not forsake his people for his great name's sake, because it hath pleased the Lord to make you his people. What? It has pleased the Lord to make you his people. Who? The people who repented and got water baptized. Moreover, as for me, God forbid. What? God forbid. Moreover, as for me, God forbid, that I should sin against the Lord in ceasing to pray for you. But I will teach you the good and right way. Only fear the Lord and serve him in truth with all your heart, for consider how great things he hath done for you. But if you shall still do wickedly, ye shall be consumed, both you and your king. So if you want to continue to do wickedly, you and your king, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. This is what we went over. Y'all see that? This is everything we went over. Plus precepts that came in the spirit. The endless capitalism. We did the foundation. Alright, we did the foundation. We built on that foundation. We went through the history. We went to how it applies today. We went into the rich and the wickedness. And we also went into the blessed or the poor. Alright? So that's our lesson. And it completes a full circle. Alright, I love you, family. And I will talk to y'all. Alright? I love you guys. Shalom. Much love. Much respect. I look forward to seeing some of y'all. No comments yet, so that's okay. Alright, family. I love you guys. And we'll see you guys on the next lesson, so that you can be inspired by the word of God. I just wanted to show you guys this good lesson that we just did. It was just full of fruit, full of food. I love you guys. Shalom. Have a good night.